Agribusiness is everything from supermarkets to the corporations producing seeds or pesticides. In this sector there's a huge concentration. The big food traders are dominated by only 4 companies, and the same goes for the production of pesticides, for instance. The EU and the US have for long promoted very much intensification and economies of scales in agriculture, and this has meant the disappearing of many farms. Over a decade, about 1/3 of all European farms has disappeared. In Brussels, they lobby together. You have lobby associations that coordinate the lobbying. For instance, for the pesticide lobby, you have CropLife EU, or for the big farm lobby, you have Copa-Cogeca. These lobby associations also coordinate the lobbying between themselves, because in Brussels they are more like colleagues rather than competitors. The EU Farm to Fork strategy is a key element of the European Green Deal. It promises to cut down the pesticide use by 50% and also slashes the use of antibiotics and fertilizers. We think this can be done even better. Along with 1.2 million citizens, we demand the slashing of the pesticide use by 80% and a phase out in the long term. However, it is a good start. The pesticide companies, of course, don't like these plans at all because it would greatly damage their profits. While publicly claiming that they embrace the Green Deal, behind the scene and under the radar, they are doing everything they can to stop the binding targets from the EU Farm to Fork strategy to become a reality. One of the key tactics has been to finance studies that show economic harm, loss of productivity and loss of income for farmers. However, these studies were very flawed in their design and therefore didn't even take into account the long-term environmental benefits for all of us. What we see happening in Brussels is that the pesticide corporations and the agribusiness at large seems to have a firm grip over the big farm lobby, Copa-Cogeca. Even though farmers are the first people to be exposed to pesticides, Copa-Cogeca doesn't seem to be very bothered by that and always lobbies in favor of the continued use of pesticides like Roundup. There are also other farm unions in Brussels, but they are not as much heard as Copa-Cogeca. They enjoy a real privileged access at the EU institutions and, for instance, have many seats in the Commission's expert groups. The Ukraine war has allowed the agribusiness lobby groups to intensify the scaremongering with productivity losses, even though it precisely shows the need to get rid of the dependence on fertilizer and on pesticides, for instance. They use the crisis situation as a moment to basically undermine and derail the Farm to Fork targets. Call on your governments and national parliaments to increase the ambition of the Farm to Fork strategy and not weaken or undermine it. Don't let them listen any longer to the agribusiness lobby. You can join ongoing campaigns by groups and movements across Europe that call for a transition in agriculture that is fairer to farmers and that addresses the environmental challenges that we face today.